Welcome back. Today, we're setting out on a really fascinating journey to decode this invisible, microscopic world that's silently powering, well, virtually every aspect of our modern lives. Whether you're entirely new to electronics or just looking to solidify your understanding of semiconductor foundations, this explainer is designed to completely cut through the noise. We're going to break down the incredible science of integrated circuit, or IC technology.
I want you to take a second and really think about the device you're using to watch or listen to this explainer right now. Behind that sleek glass screen lies an almost unfathomable reality. I mean, how exactly do you fit billions of moving parts, billions of switches that calculate, route, and store information at literally the speed of light onto a piece of material smaller than your fingernail? Imagine fitting the entire population of Earth onto a single grain of sand. That is the sheer scale we're talking about here. It sounds absolutely like magic, but it's actually the pinnacle of modern human engineering.
Okay, let's dive into this. That glowing central hub, that unassuming little square integrated right into the logic board of a modern smartphone, is the exact technological marvel we're unpacking today. This single chip has completely revolutionized electronics. It delivers exponentially more capability in way less space, at a much lower cost, and with far greater reliability than the bulky, older systems that came before it.
So let's establish a firm foundation here with a clear definition. An integrated circuit is basically a miniaturized electronic circuit fabricated on a semiconductor substrate, which is typically silicon. Now, the absolute magic here is the word integrated, because before the IC, circuits were made of discrete individual components that actually had to be physically wired together by hand. They were huge, they were super power hungry, and honestly, they failed all the time. The IC totally changes the game by combining multiple active and passive components into one single, highly compact and incredibly reliable chip.
To truly appreciate where we are right now, we have to see just how incredibly fast we got here. Let's take a rapid time travel journey. It all started back in 1947 at Bell Labs with the invention of the transistor, the fundamental building block. Just over a decade later, in 1958, Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments created the very first IC. By 1970, we hit a massive milestone. The Intel 4004 literally placed an entire computer processor onto a single chip. And today? Well, today we're manufacturing chips at sub-5 nanometer nodes. That means we're basically building circuitry smaller than a single strand of your DNA. And it's powering the cloud, artificial intelligence, the whole shebang of global mobile networks. But here's the thing. No matter how advanced a sub-5 nanometer chip gets, every single IC is built from just a handful of fundamental components working perfectly in concert. Think of the IC as a highly optimized microscopic city. The transistors, well, they're the workers and the switches, amplifying signals and making the logical decisions. The metal interconnections act as these massive multi-lane highways, rapidly routing signals and data between different parts of the city. Meanwhile, components like capacitors store electrical charge, kind of like water reservoirs, and resistors limit the current flow, which ensures the city's power grid operates perfectly without overloading. Finally, you have diodes acting as one-way streets directing all that traffic in a single direction.
Now, depending on what signals this microscopic city actually processes, we classify ICs into distinct types. Let's compare the two primary domains here: analog and digital. Analog ICs process continuous, smooth signals. Think of a continuously varying wave that represents real-world quantities like audio volume, temperature, or light. They're heavily used in amplifiers and filters. Digital ICs, on the other hand, strictly manipulate binary data. Every single signal is either a logic 1 or a logic 0. And because there are only two states, digital systems are highly noise tolerant and can scale perfectly to include billions of those transistor workers, making them absolutely ideal for your computer CPU and RAM. But what happens when these two distinct worlds actually need to talk to each other? I mean, the physical world we live in is analog, but our computers process everything in digital. And this brilliantly illustrates the role of the mixed signal IC. These chips integrate both analog and digital circuits right there on the very same die. They use ADCs, analog to digital converters, to sample a real-world signal, like your voice, and turn it into binary data. Then they use DACs, digital to analog converters, to turn that binary data right back into physical signals, like the music playing out of your smartphone speaker. They are basically the ultimate translators. What's truly staggering here is the sheer exponential explosion of density we've managed to achieve over the years.
We measure this progress in what we call levels of integration. We started all the way back at SSI, or small-scale integration, with just 2 to 10 logic gates per chip. As engineering advanced, we scaled up through medium and large scale, eventually hitting VLSI, very large-scale integration, which put tens of thousands to 1 million gates on a single chip. And today, we exist in the mind-blowing realm of ULSI, ultra-large-scale integration, packing millions and even billions of microscopic gates onto a single die. It's just wild to think about. But here's a really fascinating materials science question for you. Why is this entire microscopic city, with its billions of gates and components, built almost exclusively upon one specific concrete foundation? Why does silicon utterly dominate IC fabrication? Out of all the elements in the entire periodic table, why did this glowing crystal become the absolute backbone of the modern world?
Well, the answer really comes down to a perfect trifecta of natural properties. First up, abundance. Silicon is literally the second most common element in the Earth's crust. It's practically sand. That makes it incredibly low cost for massive industrial scale production. Second, it's highly stable and reliable, maintaining its chemical integrity across a huge range of operating temperatures. And third, from a physics perspective, it is just the ideal semiconductor. It has a band gap of exactly 1.12 electron volts. In simple terms, it's neither a perfect conductor nor a stubborn insulator. It sits right there in the middle. This makes it perfectly suited to give engineers total control over transistor switching behavior. It's the ultimate Goldilocks material, for sure.
So how exactly does this raw silicon become such a highly advanced product? Turning a bare silicon wafer into a complex chip isn't just a simple single step. It actually requires passing through 6 highly precise fabrication stages. It goes from depositing ultra-thin layers of material to using light to carve microscopic patterns in a process called lithography, and then chemically doping the silicon to alter its electrical behavior. By repeatedly etching, layering, and doping, engineers can build up millions of transistors layer by microscopic layer. This extremely precise 6-stage core process forms the very foundation of all modern advanced manufacturing. Let's zoom back out from the microscopic scale for a moment. Why does all of this actually matter to you? Because these tiny blocks of processed silicon totally dictate the capabilities of the real-world applications you interact with every single day. We're talking your consumer electronics, your phone, your laptop, your smart home devices. It's in the automotive industry, where ICs control everything from your engine to advanced driver assistance systems. They enable life-saving medical devices like patient monitors and precision imaging. And of course, they are the invisible infrastructure of communication, making high-speed 5G networks and global routers possible. They are quite literally everywhere. So the crucial point is this: advanced engineering and modern tech do not exist in a vacuum. Look at the foundation of this pyramid. IC technology is the absolute bedrock. Without a deep understanding of how to build and integrate these microscopic circuits on silicon, the higher-level logic designs, like CMOS technology and complex multi-core processors, would completely collapse. IC tech is the foundation upon which the entire modern microelectronics industry rests. We've mastered the silicon microchip to an absolutely astonishing degree, packing billions of transistors onto the tip of a finger. But we are rapidly approaching the absolute physical limits of what silicon atoms can actually do. So I want to leave you with this to ponder. As we push past the boundaries of traditional silicon, what entirely new materials and frontiers will step up to power the next generation of quantum and nanoscale computing? The foundations you've learned today are just the beginning of a much larger, ongoing technological revolution. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.